Every year, demographers sit down with spreadsheets and project where Florida is going to grow. They look at the data, they run the models, and they publish their predictions. And every year, Florida ignores them completely. The towns that were supposed to stay small are exploding. The communities nobody was watching are now the ones nobody can stop talking about. These are 10 Florida towns growing faster than anyone predicted in 2026. Number 10, Apopka. Nobody had Apopka on a growth watch. It sat in the northwest corner of Orange County for decades, known mainly for its nurseries and greenhouse industry. They called it the indoor foliage capital of the world. Then the Wekiva Parkway opened and connected Apopka to Interstate 4 at Sanford. Roads change everything. Apopka grew 18% since the 2020 census, from 54,873 residents to nearly 65,000 today. The poverty rate dropped to 8.4%, well below the state average. The median household income climbed past $96,000. Advent Health opened a hospital campus there that nobody expected a foliage town to need. The nurseries are giving way to subdivisions one field at a time. Nobody predicted Apopka would become a destination. It did anyway. Number 9, Winterhaven. Polk County analysts knew Lakeland was growing. They knew Haines City was growing. Winterhaven was supposed to be the quiet one, the chain of Lake City with the retirees and Legoland. Then Amazon moved in. Then Chewy built a distribution center. Then the Lakeland Winterhaven Metro ranked as the 4th fastest growing metro in the entire country from 2024 to 2025. Winterhaven added more than 12,000 residents in 5 years, a 28% increase. Taxable new construction in Winterhaven alone reached $278 million in a single year. The metro added more than 23,000 new residents in 2024 alone. Polk County is now on a path to reach 1 million residents by 2030. One economist called it implausible but not impossible. Based on what Winterhaven just did, implausible may need a new definition. Number 8, Riverview. If you asked most Floridians to name the fastest growing suburb of Tampa Bay, they would say Wesley Chapel. They would be wrong. Riverview, sitting just south of Tampa in Hillsborough County, grew from 95,849 residents at the 2020 census to more than 116,000 today. That is a 21% surge in 5 years for a community that was already nearly 100,000 people. The median household income is over $100,000. The median age is 36. This is not retirees. This is young professional families who cannot afford Tampa proper and will not commute from further south. Hillsborough County schools are running overflow at multiple campuses just to absorb the children arriving in Riverview neighborhoods that did not exist 4 years ago. Nobody put Riverview in their growth forecasts. It grew anyway. Number 7, Palmcoast. This one requires some history. Palmcoast was the fastest growing county in the entire nation in 2005. Then the housing market collapsed and Flagler County lost nearly everything it had built. Population stalled, businesses closed. The growth story was supposed to be over. Then it started again. Flagler County grew 21.7% between 2020 and 2025, adding 25,000 residents and becoming the 6th fastest growing county in Florida. Palmcoast crossed 110,000 residents. The county added a second hospital specifically because the first one was already running over capacity in its emergency department. The new hospital treated 30,000 emergency room patients in its first year of operation alone. Nobody predicted Flagler County would boom twice in a generation. The market predicted wrong. Number 6, Port St. Lucie. In 2020, Port St. Lucie had 204,851 residents. The projections said moderate growth, steady absorption, nothing dramatic. What happened instead was the 5th fastest growing metro in the entire United States from 2022 to 2023. Port St. Lucie surpassed Fort Lauderdale to become one of Florida's largest cities. It is now growing at a rate roughly 200% faster than its own historical average. Families priced out of Broward, Miami-Dade, and Palm Beach drove north and stopped here because the math finally worked. Schools are at capacity. Interstate 95 through St. Lucie County is still only 3 lanes. The city advanced a plan for a new I-95 interchange that will not be funded until 2041. The growth arrived 3 decades ahead of the infrastructure. Nobody saw that coming either. We are halfway through this list, and the towns ahead are the ones where the prediction gap is not measured in percent points, but in generations. If you want to understand where this growth comes from and what it looks like from the outside, we already covered the Florida towns that doubled in size in the last few months, and the numbers in that video show you exactly why people keep showing up faster than anyone can plan for. Hit subscribe and stay with us, because number 1 on this list is the town that held the top growth ranking in the entire country 2 years in a row, and the experts still cannot fully explain why. Number 5, Wesley Chapel. In 2001, Wesley Chapel had approximately 9,344 residents. The Pasco County projections at the time said growth would come eventually, maybe by 2030. Today, Wesley Chapel has roughly 80,000 residents. That is an 8-fold increase in 25 years in a community that still has no city government of its own. It is technically unincorporated. It is the size of a major city being managed by a county commission that was designed for a population a fraction of this size. Wiregrass Ranch High School ran at 127% of its design capacity. Hospitals arrived so fast that Wesley Chapel went from having no major medical center to having 4 competing hospital systems within a few years. The Chamber of Commerce is now raising money to study whether Wesley Chapel should incorporate and become an actual city. That conversation should have happened a decade ago. The growth did not wait for the conversation. Number 4, Yulee. Say it the way locals say it. Yulee. If you have never heard of it, you are not alone. Yulee sits in Nassau County just north of Jacksonville. It was a rural timber crossroads with a post office and not much else. Then a company called Radiant Places and Properties began building an entire master plan town from scratch on 24,000 acres of former timberland. They named it Wildlight. Before a single house was sold, Rayonier moved its corporate headquarters there. Then Florida Public Utilities, then UF Health, then Baptist Nassau opened a full medical campus in late 2024. Then HCA Healthcare opened an emergency facility in early 2025. Nassau County hit 100,000 residents for the first time in its history in 2023. It took the county 2 centuries to get there. It added nearly 5,000 more in the following year alone, the largest single-year gain in county history. In Site Selection magazine's words, this rural county may be sleepy no more. That turned out to be a significant understatement. Number 3, Davenport. There's a town in Polk County that had 9,930 residents in 2020. Today, it has more than 20,000. That is a 108% increase in 5 years. Davenport literally doubled. The city was founded as a railroad stop in the 1800s. Orange Grove surrounded it for a century. The only entertainment destination it ever produced, a circus-themed amusement park called Circus World, was demolished in 2005. In the 1920s, city planners drew maps for 30,000 residents, and the Great Depression erased those dreams before they started. Nobody expected them to come back. 100 new families arrived in Davenport every single month at the peak of the boom. 3 new schools were built. A second fire station opened. An 83-acre regional park was constructed. The city manager said 4 words that summarized the entire transformation. We are not sleepy anymore. Number 2, Wildwood. In the year 2000, Wildwood had a per capita income of $11,758 and a child poverty rate of 39.6%. Nearly 4 out of 10 children in the city were growing up in poverty. The county growth projections at the time did not put Wildwood in any top 10 category for anything. Then U.S. News and World Report named Wildwood the fastest growing city in America for 2025. Not fastest in Florida, in America. The growth rate was 19.53% from 2020 to 2024, nearly 3 times the second-place finisher. Wildwood now has an $8.1 billion tax base. It cut its tax rate by 25% because so much new revenue was flowing in. The city manager said what nobody writing growth reports in 2000 would have believed. Wildwood is now a city that is able to really improve the lives of its residents. The change in those 25 years is not gradual. It is total. No forecast predicted this. Number 1. Ocala. The Census Bureau publishes its fastest-growing metro rankings once a year. In 2024, Ocala was number 1 in the entire United States with 4.0% annual growth. Analysts expected that title to rotate to another metro the following year. That is what normally happens. No metro holds the number 1 spot 2 years in a row. Ocala held it. In 2025, Ocala was number 1 again at 3.4% growth. It was the only metro in the country to exceed 4% in the prior period, and the only metro to hold the top national ranking consecutively. The Ocala metro population climbed from 412,000 in 2023 to 428,905 in 2024 to an estimated 442,660 today. That is 55,000 new residents since the 2020 census. U-Haul named Ocala the number 1 destination city in the country in 2025. MoveBuddha found that moving to Ocala was the most searched relocation query in the entire nation. Horse country, Artesian Springs, a city that serious real estate analysts were not watching. Marion County now needs roughly 19 new homes completed every single day just to house the people who are already on their way. Nobody in the forecasting community predicted Ocala would do this once. No model in existence predicted it would do it twice. Florida's growth does not go where the spreadsheets say it should go. It goes where the roads get built and the prices stay manageable, and the jobs follow the people who left somewhere more expensive. The 10 towns on this list were not on anyone's radar 5 years ago. They are the center of the story now. Drop a comment and tell us which of these towns surprises you the most. Did you see any of this coming? And if you want to understand what happens to a Florida town after the growth arrives and the infrastructure cannot keep up, our video on Florida towns where everyone is moving in but nothing is ready shows you exactly what the other side of this boom looks like.